All right, hello kiddos. So we're going to go through a couple examples of these half-life problems. So remember, half-life is a measurement how long it takes for half of the sample to decay, so half of the sample to turn into something else. So here's how we do some of these word problems. The first one here, go ahead and get out your paper and feel free to pause the video anytime you need to write stuff down. The question asks, how much of a 100-gram sample of 198 AU is left after 8 days if its half-life is 2 days? So when you first read this, there's a lot of numbers, a lot of letters there. First thing I'm going to tell you to do is cross out the element here. This is really just used for context. It's not needed in the actual problem itself. Okay, so when we go back and look at the problem now, we're only left with a 100-gram sample. So what this tells me, anytime I see that lowercase g or I see it spelled out as grams, that tells me how much I'm starting with, a 100-gram sample. So if you set up your table like this, this is already there for you. We are starting with 100 grams. And for all of the problems, it has to start with 0 half-life, 0 amount of time has passed because this is the initial amount, the starting amount. And we can't have any other amount or any time have passed if we're having the initial amount. All right, so that's how we get the 100-gram sample. We want to figure out how much is left after 8 days. So 8 days is our end goal. What is left after 8 days when we know a half-life is 2 days? So a half-life is 2 days. What we mean by a half-life being 2 days is like, all right, so we've got 0 half-life here. And the next box, it's only going to be 1 half-life. And 1 half-life, like the problem told us, is 2 days. So pause the video right here if you need to and then copy this information down. Now, I'm going to finish doing this in the time box here, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to look at the amount of the sample and we're going to figure that part out. So after 1 half-life, it's 2 days. After 2 half-lives, it's going to be 4 days. And the way I get this is I add 2, I'm going to go ahead and change the color here. I add 2 plus 2. So add plus 2. It's 2 plus 2. So every half-life that occurs, or every half-life that happens, I have to add 2 to it. Not multiply 2, add 2. So after 3 half-lives, I've got now going to have 6 days. And again, the way I get this, I add 4 plus 2 to get 6. So again, my goal I'm trying to get here is 8 days. So now I'm going to add a 4th half-life. And after 4 half-lives, I add 6 plus 2 because that's my original half-life. And I get a total of 8 days. And so that's my end goal. This is how much I've got to figure out I have after 8 days. So we figured out the time here. Now we've got to figure out how much I have. And how I do this part now, I'm going to do this part in a different color. I divide by 2. Now I'm always, the amount is going to be divided by 2. So I'm going to take 100 grams and I'm going to divide by 2. Divide here by 2. So I take 100 divided by 2. Feel free to put that in your calculator and try that. And I'm going to get 50. 5, 0. I'm going to have 50 grams. Right? But again, I've got to get it to 8 days. So after 2 days, 50 grams is left. Then I divide by 2 again. But I have to stay with this. 50 divided by 2 is 25. I can write here. Right? And then I divide by 2 again. I do 25 divided by 2, which is going to be 12.5. 12.5. And then again, I'm trying to get to 8 days. How much do I have left after 8 days? I divide by 2 again, and I'm going to get 6.2, come on, 25. And that is my answer right there, 6.25. So after 8 days, there's 6.25 grams left of this sample. And that's how you do half-life problems. So hope this video was helpful. Feel free to go and watch it again. Look at this part, copy it down on your paper.